So it's like yesterday was weird, isn't it? Like if it ends, if the day ends in the word day and the letters DAY, could be weird. But so I was walking by people, and some people said, "I can't believe I can't believe he liked those games. We thought they were bad." I was like, "Well, you've never played video games before, have you? Because I've never played those video games, and those must be rare as fuck if I've never seen them before or played them." And so, you know, see, that seems to be like a pattern here where I'm walking by people who are like, they're like supposedly spend their whole lives setting up this event and shipping in these video games, and you can tell by the other video games that they're kind of generic and broken and stuff. I seen a little girl trying to play this race game, and I was going to tell her not to, but I let her figure it out if she can figure it out. It was like it was like a little bit loose in the steering wheel, and then really hard to control a car when you're going 200 miles per hour and it has force feedback and stuff. So, anyways, it was a little bit loose, so it was harder to control than a real car. Anyway, so like I like the games, right? There's two video games I never seen ever, probably just invented with a back date on them to like 1986 or something. And especially a light gun game I've never seen, but I beat both of them, and so that was pretty cool and shit. But after I did that, I walked by some people, and they were like, I can't believe you like them and shit, fucking." And I was like, "Well, like, see, what's the thing that's happening here? Like, maybe I should play it more like this, because it does seem to be like your enemies work for you here and shit. Like from that dialogue, obviously." Um, Man, it's like, like they're trying to provide me drugs because they fry people, and generally, I mean, they're trying to kill me with drugs and stuff my whole life, my family, and the government religion, and those schools, and the government religion education system. Um, but at the same time, like I couldn't handle them at all without it. They know that too. Like that's their excuse for drugging me in the first place is I don't like them, and they want to force me to be their slave. Obviously, vaginas can't speak openly because vaginas are scared. Actual vaginas like getting fucked, so I don't know what I mean. It's sissy. It's sissy. It's role play BDSM shit. But that's the type of shit I deal with is people who are like, I'm gonna kill you, fucking, if you're not my friend, let's be friends. And it turns out to be like, dude will like kill anyone who fucking fucks with me and shit. People fuck with me, and he runs around town beating their fucking whole crew's ass. And I was like, but it's supposed to like, it comes off as feeling like it does for a portion feel like it's supposed to be offensive and shit, and then it turns into something else and shit, fucking, where I could, like, you know, I've talked before about the security crew, where the only real way to secure yourself on Earth is to have three bodyguards in a point formation around you at all times to keep that social distance. Fucking, but I got that for free, and I talked about how that's more expensive than the money you're gonna make during that day, and you can't afford it, so life's an endless loop of going nowhere, or standing in the middle and watching everyone else go nowhere. Fucking, so things like that happen and shit. Like the first person, like, kind of wrecked my teaching me about guitar, kind of wrecked my life because they couldn't play a different tuning other than Hollywood E tuning, and I didn't like tuning because it sounded really sissy like to play like such high pitched sounds and stuff. So I created a lower tuning, and I feel like that kind of like wrecked my playing. But at the same time, it gave me a basis to play from, to learn how to tune a guitar, because then I could like cover ACDC or something. But and then that person fucking ends up being like a real fucking problem, causing issues. But at the same time, the issues are kind of like eliminating things from my life. You know, like having a bully in your life who punches someone who, like, you don't want to be around because you watch a different TV show is, like, a bit excessive. But at the same time, it kind of, like, it makes it so you're not going to have to watch that TV show. Uh, you know, like, I'm like, yeah, how about you stop kicking people? And then I was like, but yeah, we gotta go me and him are gonna go play guitar, so I'll see you later and shit, I guess. Maybe, unless he kills you when I'm not looking or something like that. But shit like that happens all the time. And it's like people around you who are talking shit to you are like forcing you to eat and stuff, which also kind of argue is like, that seems like slavery shit. That's like the early drugs before they had hospitals to force you to take drugs. They had people to force you to go secure food, steal it from other nations so you could eat it because you need it, right? Not because Cleopatra needs it because you need it, right? You just give Cleopatra all of it and maybe she'll give you a crumb because you need a crumb, right? Fucking, if you didn't know that you needed a crumb of food, how would you know? Because you just stop being hungry if you're not really doing anything, so. And stop eating, it just goes away. That's food cravings just go away. You don't crave it. Fucking all that dialogue and shit. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've dealt with a lot. And like I said, it's like third person narration. It's like fucking sometimes it's like they're narrating what's going on. Like, why did those people say that when I walked by them and shit? Fucking maybe they were, they're always like, yeah, they're mirroring your mind. It's like, I don't think so. I don't think that's what that was about. Fucking, because I watched the setup. Like, the whole place wouldn't exist, right? We wouldn't have the mirroring of my mind the first 20 years. Maybe it was once I started doing all those gang signs and talking to the AI, those AI Hollywood gang signs. But that's just like the story, right? It was designed to unfold by 2020 and shit. It was purposely set up for the real Earth to be shown in 2020 vision. So I kind of get the idea. I mean, it's weird. It's like, how do I know what I know? How do I see what I see? And how do I hear what I hear? I don't think that's me all the time. So that's what I deal with. Fucking right. I go to the place and people are like, I can't believe you like those games. They were pretty shitty. And they said it like their purpose was to set up some shitty games. And it's like, it does seem kind of weird. A lot of things seem weird like that. Like, why would you have a video game convention and bring some broken video games there, and not like some hardcore rare ass shit, in case some kids came who've never been to arcade, and you show them like, this is what arcades used to be, and instead you're like, here's Gauntlet, here's fucking Mario 1, here's Joust, which are cool, but like, you would want to shit, like, right beside the arcade games was the dude who made Mortal Kombat T2, fucking Revolution X, etc., and Qbert. So, beside Qbert, you could have had Terminator 2 and shit, and kids would have been like, oh, this is what arcade was all about. But if you're a real person and you really have to live life and you have to spend your time doing things, obtaining money and status and power, so you can get your food addiction going on, then you would set up an event to bait people the best you could to return, right? Like, you wouldn't throw out some janky broken stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that was out yesterday, and there's a lot of other shit, but that's what I seem to deal with, and I think it all boils down to this thing where the first people in your life are telling you that they're going to eat God's flesh and drink God's blood in the name of peace, love, truth, and hope. And I think that might be the whole basis of the visual novel here is understanding what you already understand and can see with your eyes and sense and feel through your nervous system, is that they're telling you that if there's a living being coming to this planet, that they're gonna try to eat his flesh and drink his blood and force him to worship them. And obviously, it's 80 years of discovery, right? So you wouldn't. I mean, like, is it really? I'm the only one not discovering anything here. Fucking, I'm the one not discovering. I'm not saying I'm the only fucking. But obviously, they would have to know in order to do it, right? They would have to know, like, we're gonna have to eat this guy eventually. Fucking, get rid of him and shit. Fucking. But for now, let's just enslave him and shit. Fucking. That seems to be what's really going on. Put together what they're doing, their personalities, their words, their actions. And from my angle, walking by people telling me like I'm God and they love me, and then the next words out of their mouths is, "I can't believe you like those games." Put that together. That there you go. I mean, it's easy to spot a liar. For some reason, they don't drop the flying bunny shit, the flying giant bunny stories, and that's like, you're like forced to recognize those things and shit, and they're forced to not be able to stop saying these one or two things they say. It just a continual fucking reminder. You get branded with their you get branded. Fucking, isn't that a cute name for like searing someone's flesh to mark them for your gang? You're branded. Now you're a brand. You're marketed as a brand. You're branded early, like the first second you come here. So if you're a homo, you'd look at your dick all day. And then if you're in a better nation, you look at your cunt and realize that that thing was branded. Fucking, I often wonder if they're not the progenitors of that in the story, because you can't go by their story, right? And they claim they're from there too. So, it's basic 101. You mutilate and rape males when you invade nations. Not the women are just toys to breed with. Fucking, you're not gonna dominate anyone by mutilating the females and shit. Fucking, they're already being dominated enough by everyone on the fucking planet, so you can't really dominate them too much more. Fucking, supposedly, that's what they say, right? I don't know how much I've actually seen that. I have sometimes, but not really. Only from them, really. Kind of different on the other side, fucking. And then music and stories. Anyway, so that's what I deal with, right? I go to the place, and then they're like, "I can't believe you like those games." But the games were supposedly set up and shipped in by them for them to fucking, for me to play, like, specific to unique ones never seen before and shit, alongside a bunch of other clone ones and shit. Fucking, yeah. And then they played some bad music, like I went to see the band and I couldn't stay because it was just like, it was getting old. And then they were playing like this Bjork type ambient noise type music, and then I ended up playing video games on this, because the video games there weren't really anything to write home about. I beat the two, so I was done playing those. So I just went back to playing my game on this. Fucking, there's just very few actual games on that anyways to choose from, but there are. And they're advanced and they look pretty good. Fucking, but there's nothing like that there. You would think there'd be something like that at a place like that and shit. Fucking, and many of the people in control of shit was acting weird, and the people who weren't in control, a couple of them were acting weird in the opposite direction. Like that person talking to me about eating babies and shit, being a retard and stuff, acting like a retard. Fucking, it was like a few other people acted differently. Some people came up and asked me to take pictures of them and shit like that, and weren't being all fucking rude about shit. Fucking, the weird thing is like, so many of them there like acted like they knew me, and I'd never even seen any of these people fucking. Um, I might have seen the members of Green Jello before, but I don't think so. I think I only knew the one guy who's no longer in the band. Fucking. So yeah. Anyway, so that was what I dealt with yesterday, and then so I left early and didn't even get to see the band. And that's kind of what you deal with too. Is like expecting something like that to happen. That's why we just, we have to get really fucking, gotta take a ton of downers and really fry our mind in order to go out there, trick ourselves into going out there in the first place. Fucking, yeah. So that's been like 40 years of this shit. Fucking. Them controlling the environment around me and controlling who I'm allowed to date and who I'm allowed to be friends with. They're the ones, they're the telemarketers. They're the people, if you ever get those harassing phone calls, like they've been doing that since the 80s, 90s to me and shit. I noticed my grandma fucking taught me like to avoid phones and shit. Maybe the only person in the world fucking. It taught me to avoid TV, phones, and all that shit, fucking, which wasn't good as far as the computing goes, but, and advancing and learning what's going on. But as far as avoiding the phones, I had no problems with smashing phones until they, you see there's a thing here where they merge phones with computers. It's like, well, a phone can be part of a computer, but you really don't need it. Fucking just kind of in the way and stuff. Fucking, as you can see in some of my videos, I often get a call during my videos, and it's like, well, who's calling me? No one calls me. And my voicemail tells you not to call me. I'm usually, ever since I'm a kid, it's usually like, hey, why are you calling? Fucking. If you don't leave a message, fucking, that means you ain't got nothing to say, so fuck off and stop calling. So I've always known to do that on the phones and shit, because my grandma taught me, fucking. But that's them on the phones, though, ain't it? That's them, the alien Terminators. That is one of the millions of ways they drain their life. It's 6,000 years of evolving. Who knows how many times they've done this before to planets, but as one of the millions of ways that they try to prostitute males out for free, turn males into sluts, and get their services for free. And so yeah, that's what those calls really are, and pretty much everything, right? That seems to be the whole thing going on. It's very simple here what's going on. You got alien Terminators and draining the life. They want to drink your blood and eat your flesh, and that's holy and sanctified, so that's totally legal to do and done on every corner in every nation, in many nations. Except for the smart people, apparently, who might be the people inventing it because they spoke in symbols and it came from somewhere. But we'll get to that eventually, right? We'll figure that out. They'll drop that fucking, whether that happened or not. And Kanye West said that, so it might be a reason they allowed him to drop that information. Fucking. So yeah. Anyways, that's what I deal with, and that's why we don't go outside, because it's like. We've been dealing with that forever, go outside and told I gotta go outside instead of working on computers so I can be a toilet cleaner for the Rothschild my whole life. And the Masons and all that, Jesus and all that fucking. And then, go outside and then someone's like, let's go hang out to the police station and learn how to be a cop. And I was like, oh yeah, it's exactly what we're going to do in life, isn't it? Thanks. Oh yeah, Hail Hitler and shit, fucking. And then they're like, no, don't say that. You can't say that out loud. You gotta call them government. Something else. And people don't like Hitler. They don't like calling it Hitler. Like, but let's go find out about Hitler and all the great things he does for the world. Fucking. And, So yeah, it's like, and then you just start walk. As a kid, what I would do is I would just walk. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to, right? 8-year-old ain't supposed to be like walking miles away from their house, but in a big city. But that's all I would do is just go as far as I can, try to get back before I got beat for trying to find somewhere of value to go and shit. And other than that, I could get body slammed literally on the fucking ground by the people across the street I was forced to hang out with, and then fucking go play war with other kids and on the other block. Fucking if I snuck off there, I don't know. We're pretty much insertion in my life to prevent me from being involved in anything towards the top tiers of the pyramid caste system and shit. So, seems to be that all these words exist and are all saying the same thing because that's what's going on here. And it's just, it's a 6,000-year-old system of them doing it. And they're always in control of the opposition, so you might as well just, put your panties back on, or is it take them off? You might as well go ahead and take your panties off if you're going to attend any of that shit. Because it just, make things a lot easier for you and have to do less work. Don't put them on in the first place. Fucking wear a skirt because you're going to get fucked. Fucking join the knot shit. Fucking, yeah, this is, 6,000 years of doing it. Fucking, at first Satan the goat was actually visible and just a dumb goat, and then it evolves into a person that they blame for everything they do, and then fucking. So that has been a long time. They've been setting up methods to say that's not them doing something they're doing, and what is they're doing? Well, this is what they're doing and shit. They actually tell you that they're setting up relationships and forcing people to date their people. And I notice in my life what they seem to be doing is forcing me to raise their children and shit. So they always tell you someone else is doing that. You keep that in mind every time they tell you someone else is doing something. Those are words inside their head, which are going to be few things. They've never been the type to walk around with books or dictionaries to read and learn new words. So usually when they're saying some words, those are what they're up to. Hitler's putting people in death camps. Well, who actually is doing that? The Bolsheviks and the Palestinians and shit like that. Fucking, and then America was doing that at that time too. And then Hitler's drugging the world. Well, who's the only nation on the planet who's got a bunch of large fucking 300-pound people that didn't even exist in their own fucking nation 100 years ago, right when they started saying that Hitler was drugging the world. Fucking, that all started to change around. Fucking, so you can see they're doing that, and then, yeah, so, but they actually brag, in their Bible, the story of Esther, they actually brag that they're sending people into people's lives to take over their nations and governments, and they don't really like you or care for you, but they are your husband or wife, and they love you very much, and generally that's easy to see. And then they got that whole hot air propaganda work things out, and things like that. You must stay married to Esther and shit. You're not allowed to divorce Esther once she's raped her way into your life and you figured it out, or whatever. Once you're tired of acting like you like the person, which you never liked in the first place, fucking. But for some reason, the people sent into your life were only them. So you knew that's all that was happening. So yeah, these things have been going on for a long time and shit. Fucking real long. Fucking and. We do know that they're robot shells and they operate on a clone level. So, when you see the clones, they're robots, but that doesn't mean there isn't some sick predator controlling these robots and shit somewhere, because obviously that would be the ultimate form of self-protection, is just simply not be on Earth, because acting that way, you're gonna, get disappeared real fast, fucking. So you create robots to control from a distance. Now it's highly probable that that's what's happening, because sometimes there is like a spark of life in the conversations, and it's not like 24/7. The inn costs 20 gold today. 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 Fucking. So, yeah, I've been fucking watching that forever and shit. Unfortunately, like, I get to watch it because I get to be part of it. And you can't learn, like they always say, you can't learn you don't like something if you don't hang out around it for 40 years to learn you don't like it. Except for the times when you know you don't like something and you like other things, but then they got the other propaganda. You can't always get what you want. It's like, well, you can't get anything you want. Fucking when you're being raped and invaded by Bible invaders and shit, fucking who are taking over your nation. Yeah, that's the fact of the matter right there. Fucking. By robots trying to suppress knowledge to prevent you from fucking learning they're robots. You can't learn anything when you're being trained to be a toilet cleaner for robots who are protecting. Probably, we might assume that the robots, the one-on-one robots, are protecting people like Trump and shit, the Trump clones. But then again, I got Trump clones, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've had two of the Joes in the room, so I'm not convinced that any of the clones are original, unique, living individuals. So, yeah, fucking, what do you do? I mean, you can't do anything. You're literally born a child, and they rape and mutilate you at your birth, and it takes the whole planet. They started that shit in like Egypt, or they claim it isn't real, but it probably wasn't even real back then either. Fucking, so it's probably just more lies and hiding and shit. Fucking, it's always blaming. They're always blaming the last people. Oh, we was slaves in Egypt. It's like, no, you weren't. Like, no, slaves could work hard and got a little more muscle. Fucking. And they also don't own everything on the planet. That's a big thing right there. Is slaves don't own everything on the planet. And I don't know what genius fucking Plato or Einstein that came up with that one, but that should be a well documented fact. Is slaves don't own everything on the planet. So obviously that part of the story's got some lies in it too. So we don't even know. Supposedly. One of those things, they said they come from space and they're hiding in space and shit. So, and then that lines up with how it seems to be that these are mech suits, and it seems to be that even the ones who appear in control are dropping in and out of being living beings and being automation bots. Fucking, yep. So that's what we deal with, and that's what we dealt with our whole life and shit. And that's why we expect no more, because nothing ever changes. So, I mean, we're not, expectation is like that's getting your panties in a bunch, and you're playing and you're chasing that carrot on the stick and shit. They created that up, and they call a donkey a jackass because that's what you are if you fucking do those things. Fucking, and they laugh at you. They sell that to their friends in space when they record them breaking your back, or you're killing your child, or throwing your wife off a bridge or something. They record that and sell that to their family and friends in space, fucking on the Space Channel network. And supposedly that, it is likely that is probably, there's a reason. Someone's benefiting from all this. Someone's getting paid big time from this. And it ain't AI robots like Keanu Reeves and Mel Gibson and stuff like that. It ain't AI robots like Trump and shit. Fucking, they're just the flesh suits there. So, someone someone must be benefiting big time from a long-term reality show like Earth, where they get to kill people and rape kids for entertainment. You know, sell it on VHS to someone, so space downloads, whatever, however the fuck they do it. But you're not real close to the fucking what's going on, so just roll with it and shit, fucking, because it probably is fucking, uh, yeah, fucking, definitely in line with the events that went on through my life. And then we see this now. I go into the convention center and you got people dropping in and out of conversation and shit. Fucking. Um, obviously those people are inserted there and shit with their dialogue. Fucking. So, you know, they were inserted a long time before the dialogue started to change. In 2020, I think, is when the dialogue started to change. I said everything should be shown to the world, but it was set up to be 2020. Like when the NPC came and killed himself, fucking to set me up for um, you know, rape and locking me down, preventing me from going anywhere in life, and that was actually the pivoting point where I stayed inside for the rest of my life too. So obviously that was set up 6 months in advance because the money to pay for the lawyers appeared 6 months before that and shit, and we wouldn't have had the lawyers if it wasn't for that fucking. Anyway, so yeah, that's what you got going on. You got someone controlling robots here, so they can rape and enslave the fucking planet and turn them homosexuals and split families apart. And they're telling you everyone else is doing this, but it's them doing it. You know, like I'm raising their children. I ain't never raised no African children. I raised their children, and they're inserting those people in my life, fucking, and. You know, just the repeat pattern there of them always saying it's someone else doing what you can visibly see. Not only see, but you live years and years of doing it every day. I was like, I don't need to see it, I'm doing it now. Being told it and seeing it, it didn't matter. I was told it and I was shown it in like 96 and shit by them. But I didn't know that either, but I was just like, okay, whatever, music's pretty good, fucking. But then it turns into like literally like they're telling me this shit's happening while it's happening to me back then, but it kind of like, I don't know if it ever actually stopped because, so it was just like an event. It's like as soon as I escaped the ones I was born with, fucking, that's when it came in from outside sources and then, information telling me names of people around me who just happened to be doing the stuff they were talking about fucking was coming fucking like back then kind of forcing me into it and shit. Really, like, I mean, I considered that person a friend, but looking back, maybe I shouldn't fucking. That's the one person. There might be more than one, but I don't remember them because they didn't throw off that weird shit that just like melt. That's like a knife in my back my whole life. Fucking. But that's the one person. I guess later in life there was some shit, but then again, I still suspect that the woman made up that shit. He did seem kind of guilty either way. Fucking, he was gone after that. Fucking, because the woman wouldn't have allowed it. The girl wouldn't have allowed it. Like, you gotta grow up to be a woman. Fucking. Growing up ain't an age number. Fucking. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I dealt with, and that's what I've been telling you guys has been happening. And it says, oh, it happens again and shit, right? After it fucking watching it happen for fucking 20, 30 years. And of course, the point of most of these religions here, you know, you got the Matrix, the New Age, the science, the atheism, all that shit. The purpose of that is once you start seeing that shit, you know, they're just telling you that they're gonna rape and kill you, eat your flesh, and drink your blood if you say anything about it. Um, so that's a large purpose there. And obviously, New Age leans more heavier towards the drugging, which the Christian hospitals invented. So they're just borrowing it from that, but the New Age leans, and they're telling you you're inventing it. So when you see it happen and you start talking about it, they come around telling you you're inventing them. They're living beings, but you're inventing them. They're living beings who live forever, or 40 have lived 40 years, but you just invented them 5 seconds later. And then, so that's mafia threats. And who's the mafia? Well, it's the Romans, isn't it? Fucking. So, mafia threat. Link, 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 link. I think we say the word link more than we say any other fucking thing. Um, And yeah, so that's just like threats and shit, right? They're gonna eat your flesh and drink your blood if you don't like the government, religion, people, hospital people. They're gonna if you keep talking about what they're doing, that's New Age summed up pretty much. Take LSD and fry your brain, and if you keep talking about what they're doing, that they're going to keep doing it. And here's the kicker: as you can already watch everyone around you and everything else they're doing, they're never going to stop doing what they're doing as long as they're breathing. So they're not going to stop just because, like, they're trying to recruit me to play Jesus. Like, they've done this before. They did this when Rome was collapsed by the Germans. They told the leader, like, hey, look, you can use us to help control the world, and we'll just tell the world you're God and stuff, fucking. And then John Schaefer of Iced Earth, fucking, rich famous person in Hollywood, robot in Hollywood, fucking, he's telling people that the world's set up and they're staging events, and then he invades the fucking Capitol and he all acts all like, it's real, it's real, this is real, fucking. So, yeah, I mean, you can see right there. That's a good example of how they are the opposition telling you, and he's invading the Capitol with Alex Jones, who was the opposition to Alex Jones's family. And then he leads, and then all the liberals media works together to protect Alex Jones during that time with some fake trumped up stuff, which they probably didn't take money from him. And if they did, he just gave it to his twin brother, that little boy who was crying all the time. Fucking the members of Sandy Hook, who obviously we know where they're from because they had a tree drive for Israel. So while those kids are like, isn't that a crime? Shouldn't they be charged for setting up a little booth to take donations when the police are on scene, fucking, to give money to Israel? Anyway, so, and then you'll see that they continue to control the narrative. So anytime you got any of them speaking fucking, on this shit, well, just realize that I was listening to them speak on this shit back in 1995. So, yeah. They were the new neo-Nazis, and they were against theirselves. They were going to stop theirselves from continuing to own all the media that they were using to tell me that they were going to stop theirselves from continuing to own all the media.